Alright, welcome back to German with John Berlin. Today we are doing a new topic altogether. It's called reflexive pronouns. Talking about pronouns, we already did relative pronouns. Now these are the ones we call reflexive pronouns. So what are these? How do we use them? Let's get started. So as you see, some verbs in German have a certain kind of a meaning in which you use the subject as well as the object as the same person. Though they are not nominative verbs, they still have the same subject and the same object. Yes, for example, I wash myself. Yes, so I'm washing myself. I and myself being the same person. Yes, I apply myself for a job. I prepare myself for the exams. I introduce myself to the audience. I stop myself from being angry. Yes, or I shower myself each day. So basically all these activities are basically reflexive. We do them primarily to ourselves. Yes, so not all German verbs would be reflexive in English. Not all English German or not all English reflexive verbs would be reflexive in German, but this is just to understand what the reflexive pronouns mean. So basically when you're talking about reflexive, it could either be myself or it could be for myself. I make for myself a tea. Yes, I apply myself for a job. Yes, so there are one had for myself, one had myself. So there could be both variations. Yes. So in German, we'll understand them in a minute. But before that, we just practice the idea of these reflexive pronouns by first having a look at the table. So it's like myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. You could just add a for and it'll become for myself, for yourself, for himself, for herself, for itself, for ourselves, for yourselves, for themselves. Yes, this is basically the types of reflexive pronoun we'll be looking into. Now let's just fill up some sentences. The kid hurt himself while playing football. Yes, so it was something he did to himself. He hurt himself. Josie made for herself a cup of tea. So basically Josie made for herself something, that's tea. Yes, so whenever I say myself, it'll be called accusative, who does whom what, and when I say for myself, it'll be who does for whom what. We all know for whom is dative, so whenever it's for whom what, it'll be dative, and when it's just simply who does whom, yes, it's accusative. So the quick idea I could give you to identify should it be myself or for myself, if there is something like what, like tea, yes, and basically if the accusative part of a sentence is a thing, like in this sentence the kid hurt himself, the accusative part of the sentence is the kid himself. Yes, he does whom does he hurt? Himself. But when the accusative part of a sentence is a thing like tea, who makes what? Josie makes tea. For whom? For herself. So whenever the accusative part of a sentence is a thing, your reflexive pronoun would always be dative. That's a quick tip to understand when to use accusative, when to use dative reflexive pronoun. Yes, again I'll repeat, when the accusative part of the sentence is a person, you'll say you'll have an accusative reflexive pronoun, no problem. But when the accusative part of the sentence is a thing, you'll have a dative reflexive pronoun. Yes, like for myself, for yourself, etc. Okay, will you please behave? Now it'll be yourself. So we could write here yourself. This is accusative. Okay. Now he applied himself for a job. Yes, again accusative. Whom? He applied whom? He applied himself. Not his friend, not his other maybe his brother, but himself. Mary stopped herself from eating the complete chocolate. So whom did she stop? Herself. Yes, so in all these sentences, the accusative part is a person. They introduced themselves. Whom did they introduce? Themselves. Again, the accusative part is a person. Okay, yeah, missed the M here. You all must prepare yourselves for the exam. So whom should you prepare? Yourselves. Very good. Now, Anthony blocked himself from Instagram. Whom did he block? He blocked himself. Okay. He washed dash properly. He washed himself properly. Whom did he wash? He washed himself, not the dog, not the cat, but himself. They control dash in order to not laugh out loud. They control themselves in order not to laugh out loud. So whom did they control? Themselves. All these examples are accusative mostly because that's the way it is in English. For dative ones, we'll read some German sentences. Okay, you must have enjoyed yourselves in the holidays. Yes, very good. Whom did you enjoy? Yourselves. They killed themselves to become martyr rather than to surrender. So giving your life on the border is like being martyred. So they killed themselves to become a martyr rather than to surrender. So all these examples are basically when the person is doing to himself something. Yes, hurting himself, stopping himself, preparing himself. So all these are reflexive pronouns. So to understand these reflexive pronouns, we have a table right in front of us. So basically, first we'll be looking at the accusative: myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. And also we'll be looking at yourself, that is mostly formal. So we'll have one yourself, which is informal, yourselves, which is plural, and yourself, which is formal. Let's find out. So myself in German would be mich, just like the personal pronoun mich. Yes. Yourself would be dich, just like the personal pronoun in accusative. So just like the same, mich, dich. Then we'll come to himself, herself, itself. This is a new pronoun. It's sich. Yes, he hurt himself. Sich, hat sich verletzt. Yeah. Similarly, it could be herself, sie hat sich verletzt, or das Kind hat sich verletzt. Always be sich. Now, ourselves would be uns. Yes, wir bereiten uns auf die Prüfung vor. We prepare ourselves for the exam. Euch bitte bereiten Sie sich, or you could say, bereitet euch auf die Prüfung vor. Prepare yourselves for the exam. Yes. Sie bereiten sich auf die Prüfung vor. They prepare themselves for the exam. And you could say it politely to someone. Bitte bereiten Sie sich auf die Prüfung vor. So basically, it's reflexive. Yes. All right. So this was accusative. Now this is dative. If you need to say for myself, like we had learned earlier, Josie made for herself a cup of tea. So here the cup of tea was the accusative part and it was a thing. So we needed to use dative. So Josie machte, it'll basically be for herself. For herself in this case, again, is sich, just like this. So it doesn't really change. But let's say if I say, I make for myself a tea, ich mache mir eine Tasse Tee. Yeah? Perfect. So only these two are changed. Yeah, mir and dir, for myself, for yourself. The others look the same. Himself for himself, both look sich. Herself for herself, both look sich. Itself for itself, both look sich. Ourselves look uns for ourselves, also looks like uns. Yourselves looks like euch for yourselves, also looks like euch. Themselves looks like sich, for themselves also looks like sich. Yourself looks like sich as well, for yourself looks like sich as well. Yes. So this is our table, and with this we'll get started making some sentences. Now we have some sentences already drawn out just to understand. So if the accusative part is a person, it'll be the accusative relative reflexive pronouns. Yes, mich, dich, sich, uns, euch, euch. If the accusative part is a thing, yes, then the reflexive pronoun will be a dative. Yes, let's find out. Ich wasche mich. Yes, it's accusative is a thing, is a person. So we'd say mich, I wash myself. Ich ziehe mich an. So basically anziehen, we already know it's to dress. Now I dress myself. So whom do I dress? A person, myself. So it will be again mich. Okay. Ich käme mich, I comb myself. So whom do I comb? Myself, again a person, mich. John stellt sich vor. John introduces himself. Whom does he introduce? himself, it is sich. So again, sich. Ich wasche mir die Hände. I wash for myself the hands. So what do I wash? Die Hände. Hände is not a person, it's a thing. So naturally, we'll be using dative person reflexive pronoun. That is, I wash for myself. That is, ich wasche mir. So my tip again to you, in a sentence, if accusative is a thing, your reflexive pronoun will be dative. Okay? So keep your eyes open for in a sentence if the accusative part is a thing. Okay. Ich ziehe mir die Jacke an. So what do I put? Die Jacke, it's accusative. That means the reflexive pronoun would be dative. So it's mir. I dress for myself the jacket. Okay. Okay. So let's move forward and let's do some sentences here. And let's see if we can have this in front of us. Okay, we don't need this. I think we'll be able to do it by ourselves. So let's begin with the first sentence. The little Jonathan duscht dash. The little John showers himself. Das kleine Jonathan duscht. How do we say himself? It'll be, yes, you're right, sich. Okay, coming back. So we could write here, be with me, it's the first sentence. Das kleine Jonathan duscht. We need to say itself. Yes, so it'll be sich. Okay, accusative sich. Das kleine Samantha wascht. The little Samantha washes herself. Again, das kleine Samantha. Whom does she wash? Herself. So it could be, it's a little Mädchen, so it'll be itself. So sich. But doesn't make a difference. So I dress myself. Whom do I dress? Ich ziehe myself. That'll be accusative. Mich. So keep the table open, people, in your answer book whenever doing any exercise. My pages move forward, but you can always have your workbook in which you have your questions and in also which you have your tables. So be on the right table so that you can always follow my answers. Yes. Okay, now again the number 4. Ich ziehe dash das Robe an. So basically I wear or I dress. The robe is like, again, it could be a piece of clothing or it's a dress. So I dress for myself the dress. So what do I dress? Das Robe. Das Robe is a thing. That means whatever comes here would be dative. So it will be for myself. So ich mich mir, it's mir. Ich ziehe mir das Robe an. Yes. Die Kinder waschen dash ihre Hände. So what are the children washing? Ihre Hände. It's not a person, it's a thing. That means the reflexive pronoun would be dative. So it will be dative sich. For themselves. Yes, the children wash for themselves their hands. Der Pilot zieht dash die Jacke an, die Jacke aus. Sorry, ausziehen is to undress. So the pilot undresses what? Die Jacke. So always ask what. If it's the person, you say accusative. If it's a thing, you say dative. It's a thing, so you say dative. That means the pilot undresses for himself the jacket. So for himself would be again sich. Dativ sich. Man sollte vor dem Schlafen dash gut baden. So basically what or whom should he what is baden? Bath himself. Yes, one should bath himself. That is sich. For man, it's third person, we'll use sich, accusative. Es befand dash nur ein Schrank im Zimmer. So basically the verb to befand is exist. So it existed what? A Schrank im Zimmer. Now in this case, we'll need to understand this is basically a different kind of a sentence in which there is no person involved. It's simply something exists itself, accusative. So es befand sich nur einen Schrank im Zimmer. Only one Almira existed in the room. Perfect. Die Leute beschweren dash über den Lärm bei den Nachbarn. So the Leute, the people. Now some verbs do not make sense in English when we talk about reflexive. Like I mentioned earlier, not all German verbs would be reflexive in English. Not all English verbs would be reflexive in German. So die Leute beschweren dash über den Lärm bei den Nachbarn. So the people complain themselves about the noise to the neighbor. Yes, so the Leute, whom do they complain? Themselves. So basically the Leute beschweren, it's plural and it's accusative plural, it'll be sich. Die Leute beschweren sich über den Lärm bei den Nachbarn. Die Kinder freuen sich auf Weihnachten. So the children are happy themselves about Christmas. So whom are they happy? Themselves. So it's die Kinder freuen sich. Themselves, that's accusative plural. Yes, sich. Ich fühle das heute ganz wohl. I feel myself today very good. So basically, whom do you feel? That's myself. So ich fühle mich heute ganz wohl. Ich informiere das über die Pandemie. I inform. Whom do I inform? Myself about the pandemic. So mich. Yeah. Interessierst du dich für Filmen? Do you interest yourself for movies? So it's like interessierst du dich für Filmen? Yes. Fantastic. So whenever there is basically a preposition or stuff, yes, then you need to have a look accordingly. Yes, understand the sentence. Okay, wir legen das an den Strand. So we lay, whom do we lay? We lay ourselves at the beach. So wir legen uns an den Strand. Rasiert ihr das euren Bart jeden Tag? So what do you all dash your beard every day? Do you all shave your beard every day? Rasiert ihr what? Euren Bart, that's a thing. That means the relative pronoun would be dative. That means rasiert ihr euch. Yes, the dative euch, for yourselves. Do you shave for yourselves your beards each day? Okay, bitte setzen Sie das auf das Sofa. You please sit yourself down on the sofa. So whom do you sit down? Yourself. So it will be sich. Yes, the formal sich, because it's sie. Yes. Ich stelle das auf den Stuhl. I stand myself on the stool. That means whom do you stand? Yourself. That means in this sentence myself. So it's ich stelle mich auf den Stuhl. Stand myself on the stool. Treffen wir das am Montag? So whom are we meeting? Ourselves. Yes, treffen wir uns am Samstag. Nach dem Unterricht haben wir das verabschiedet. Okay, after the class we have said goodbye to ourselves. So uns verabschiedet. Bitte stellen Sie das vor, please. You please introduce yourself. So whom do you introduce? Yourself. That's again sich. Yes. Hast du das die Knie verletzt? Have you hurt yourself or for yourself the knee? So what have you hurt? It's the knee. Knee is a thing, so we know our reflexive pronoun would be dative. So hast du, ich dich dir, dative ist dir, hast du dich dir, Entschuldigung, not ich dich dir, du dich dir, dative ist dir, so it's dative. Hast du dir deine Knie verletzt? Have you hurt for yourself your knee? Fantastic. You'll never say hast du dich dein Knie verletzt, because it'll not make sense. Have you hurt yourself your knee? It'll be for yourself. Yeah. Fantastic. So catch me in the next lesson. This was a quick exercise for our reflexive pronouns. In the next lesson, we'll be doing a little exercise in terms of a text, trying to get the right verbs in. So catch you in the next lesson. Till then, John Berlin signing off.